Welcome everyone to another quick update. I hope you also enjoy some regular IT notes. And one other point I wanted to make, not only this Apple code signing is complete bullshit and garbage and waste of time and everything, also Windows. I mentioned multiple times we have this new Windows builds here of ExactScan and OC Arcade. And we do not yet code sign them, and actually so far nearly nobody ever asks. They just click on the run anyway, I don't care button, and today's Apple email reminded me maybe I should finally take a look. I took a look already and realized we need to buy some certificate for 50 euro or something from whatever the usual snakeoil companies there. And then I took a look, let's check if we can get some certificate from Let's Encrypt or what is the other even, Let's Encrypt or CA cert or something, if they still exist or whatsoever. And then here's some discussion that I wanted to share, because the whole business just is complete utter bullshit, waste of time and not worth anything at all. And of course some drop frames, because why not? So why this is complete waste of time? You can basically code sign there anything. It doesn't really mean a thing, because take a look at this. So Let's Encrypt does not yet support this. Here are people asking, want to be as cheapskate as myself and such, because why should I, for no added value, why should I spend 50 or even more for this bloody certificate and renew it every other year or whatsoever? And so they are asking here regarding TLS server, not what is it here, yeah, code signing. And I wanted to share some things, because code signing, look at this. I always wondered, sometimes I load here some software from other people for Windows to test. For example, some scanner driver is crashing from some AAA vendor. And then of course I'm interested in, does this relate to ExactScan or does it work with other third-party software? So for example, Earphone View is here some well-known Windows shareware or freeware or something. And here it starts already. I always wondered why this is such a huge thing, downloaded millions of times. And the author is Irfan Skiljan something. And when you run this on Windows, you download this here, then of course Windows will tell you, do you want to run the software signed by Irfan Skiljan or something. And you know what, everyone can make this up. If I would not ever read this name, I would not even know. And again, you can easily fake this. The next thing here is always, when before there was a Windows subsystem for a Linux subsystem for Windows, I sometimes downloaded this putty thing here, this Windows Free SSH client, that in the meantime is also available for Windows. By the way, recently they discovered plenty of security issues there. You want to run the latest version. And when you, first of all, you Google this here, and Google gives you, by the way, how can the search results be that this download at this German Heise site has precedence, but whatever, amazing search. And then here more snake oil, crappy ad-driven magazine pages here. So, okay, fine. I already clever enough not to click on the first, but the second. And then, I mean, this site, honestly, does it not look a little bit like a scam here? Who would trust this kind of sites? I also slightly wonder, I mean, is this site even from them or not? I always wondered this, because when you click here, download here, you get here to somewhere else, and to Chiak Green. And always when I downloaded this, and always, given that I have so much Linux, this happens extremely rarely, like 2 times in my life or something. And each time I really wondered, is this official site or not? I actually I don't even want to connect to my servers with this stuff from some www.chiagreen.org UK tilde, seriously what? And I'm not even sure if you run this, what is signed with. So I don't trust this at all. I mean, it's signed here, and and the funny thing is, I knew from my scanner business in, I think, Israel or something like that, there was a company, Sun Electronics. And when I met this gentleman there from Israel from the first time he gave me this business cards, I wondered a little bit, given that there is Sun, back in the day there was still Sun Microsystems, I would have never named my company Sun Electronics. To me, this feels a little bit strange. And to the point when, because I knew this with the Sun Electronics, and stuff like this. And the first time Apple called at us, this was what I already quoted quite sometimes. The funny anecdote is I did not even take Apple seriously when they called. I was sitting in the office when we had another office in Berlin, and they called, yeah, I'd like to speak, René Rebe, yeah, I'm on the phone already. Yeah, I'm calling from Apple, blah, blah, blah. Because I knew this already with the Sun Electronics here in Israel and some microsystems, I did not even expect Apple to call us and said, excuse me, which Apple? The Apple Cupertino, wait a second, but this Apple who's producing Macs and iPhones? Yes, exactly. Okay, then please continue. So did not even miss this. But there you see this name. Everyone can name their company Apple whatsoever. And this is exactly the point here. When you look on these comments here, and in the future consider an exception for this, blah, blah, blah. But here comes no more examples that I wanted to share here. For example, maybe this one here, the first one says here, for example, if I download the latest Firefox and the binary is signed by whoever controls Mozilla.org, I can be pretty sure that it is legit. On the other hand, knowing that someone validated the legal paperwork for Mozilla Foundation does not add much trust, if any at all. Meaning you can also get this from, for example, just what I said, someone could register a 100% legal Mozilla corporation somewhere in the Caribbean and get a valid code signing certificate for that. Yes, exactly my point. And also, how should I know when I download IrfanView that this signed by this, or I mean this strange download thingy on www some gibberish at org UK coming from this site, no, not this site, coming from this site, putty.org, why is this download not on putty.org, why is this, I have no idea. And adding here more insult to this injury is here someone 23 days later on June 17th of whatever year, and I completely agree. Just an example, when I install FileZilla, Windows tells me it is signed by Tim Kosse. How does the average user know that Tim Kosse is a legitimate author of FileZilla? I cannot even find an impress on the FileZilla website to check the name. And yeah, exactly this issue there. And the next release would be signed by Bart Simpson. I cannot know whether Bart joined the FileZilla project and so on. So I just wanted to share this is my impression with this code signing, exactly my thinking there. And yeah, also don't like just to get this. And again, what does it add here for the validity, the legality of our download if I spend money, 50 or whatever, doesn't even matter how much, to sign our bloody Windows executable? How does it make it more legit? And everyone can do this, even sign it with Sun Electronics out of Israel if they want it. So the whole point here is completely moot, and I don't have a real solution for this. The only thing I can tell, this does not work, this at zero value. I always thought it's at zero value. This is complete nonsense. And also, as I said this morning in the other live stream, Apple is doing zero reviews. The only thing they do, they run the binary and see what happens. And if they like it, then they approve it. If not, then not. And even if you write malware, first of all, you write new malware, you can always write it so that it passes this virus scanners, not only on Windows, but also on their Apple servers. What they want to do with this, apparently, allegedly, what was it, notarized app nonsense. And the next thing is, maybe the only solution I can think of is run this stuff always like you don't trust it, like on Cubes OS or something, everything always in the sandbox. Why do we need code signing if stuff on Apple should theoretically be sandbox, just that we can't do this with exact scan, what I outlined earlier already with this stupid Apple sandboxing and drivers and file open dialog and whatnot. But aside from this, the only solution, and correct me if I'm wrong and leave your comments below what you think, the only solution I can think of is run this stuff always untrusted in a sandbox and ask for all permissions. The app wants to save a file, present the user, because why does it matter if the app is allowed to access a file if it's signed by Bart Simpson or what was it, Tim Kosse or the Mozilla Foundation? Why should this code certificate bring there any trust? Just run it sandboxed and ask the user for all the permissions. Open a file, save a file. It is, by the way, the same. I'm not even feeling very confident to put my email credentials in the Google Mail app there on Android, because I would probably need to add some login notification, not that Google sends the password credentials to the Google server and does there some automatic scanning in the night. Such kind of things already happened with other companies, even research in motion on BlackBerry or whatnot, allegedly. And you're not even feeling very confident to put my email credentials in a Google email app, and then here you want to trust all your applications for whatever they want to do only based on this code signing that you can buy under the name of Tim Kosse, Bart Simpsons, or whoever you might be. Just some sense I wanted to add here. I hope this is any value of you and maybe more. But this is also the problem. Companies like Apple, they just do some random bullshit and everyone thinks it's amazing, when in reality it helps nothing. And there's plenty of occurrences of malware in the App Store that Apple's review did not catch is not the most encouraging there anyway. As I always said, it is reviewed, and if you write malware, then of course you do write it so that it's not discovered in the review process. You send it to Apple without the malware stuff activated, and maybe make it so the simplest thing, and I don't share here the biggest secrets. It is malware 101 that you just enable the malware function after 2 weeks. Problem solved. You have a build date in the software, don't do malware stuff until 14 days in the hope Apple usually reviews it in 14 days, and the problem might be already mostly solved and stuff like this. And yeah, let's see. So comments in the audience. Welcome everyone, Danny, Advert, Dave and such. And I don't understand why modern OSs like Windows haven't started sandboxing more. Why does every app have access to all files of the user's data, and why not do more restricted OSs that still not do a good job here? And yeah, Dave says Windows 10 has sandbox mode, but Android, hey, this app wants XYZ permissions, accept all of, or don't use the app. And I think probably on Android you can probably decline individual things, right? You want to access the microphone, and then at least that is what I've seen on modern Android. I think it might have not been that in the past, but I think in the meantime you can decline individual permissions like for the microphone and camera. And yeah, actually I've not had any challenges there with the sandbox mode. With Extract Scanner I'm not using Windows much for many obvious reasons, but yeah. But Dave says has been released for some time. I have not yet tried this. I have my usual love and hate relationship with Windows. We only run it as much as we need to develop our software, and then usually we don't touch it much until customer tells us something's not working and stuff like this. Except the only thing that we know right now that doesn't work besides the signature warning is that the Chinese and Japanese keyboard input stuff doesn't appear on the right location. As I said in another live stream already, if you in our Mac app, Windows app, theoretically we have support for this Japanese Chinese input, character input. In our portable runtime, just that Windows shows the window, at least for me, they're on position 00, although we set another position because that is the usual crappy Windows 32 API. Code signing is generally a good idea for, says Dave, for DLLs, so you know that only UDLs are running in a production environment and people can't stick hack DLLs.NET support for some time, mainly used for web APIs. But yeah, and again, as you say here with the names, other people have the same thing, and maybe then, as much as I don't like Apple having any control and review and halting our production and rolling out updates with their stupid review and rejecting it for random reasons that are not even true or valid or make any sense. I quoted many already before. Other people have the same concerns. They are also with virus scanners, obviously. Usually virus scanners, they are often not that amazingly coded, and then opening zip files, tarballs, they access random files and also have buffer under overruns and stuff like this, and random remote code execution, proven already by so many security vulnerabilities that often running malware, scanner, antivirus stuff creates more bugs and attack surface in Windows than not. But yeah, leave me in the comments below. I think, well, sandboxing, again, everyone can code sign, and until some malware is discovered, and of course the big malware of government state agencies is usually not discovered or disclosed for years, and then this code signing doesn't help there anyway. And for all the other software, everyone can sign it. of course, and they can even register, like they say there, you register some fake Mozilla corporation on the Seychelles or Caribbean islands, or even some similar sounding like Exact you register Exact with a different spelling beside, unfortunately only after founding the company. Although, by the way, Exact was the 20th name we came up with, all the other 19 names were already more used. And in the meantime, unfortunately, I found another company that is doing office stuff under the name Exact, but just Exact without code, as stupid as it is. So, thanks God they have not sued us yet. But yeah, the stupid lawsuits about nonsense. And yeah, actually in the meantime, one last note, I would have found this Recode name. Beside, by the way, this was before Xcode. In the meantime, I would find Xcode quite cool as a name, but unfortunately that is taken by Apple. And this was, by the way, we could have actually get to this name, because back in the day, 2005, 2004 or something, this was at Apple's side, not yet Xcode, but Project Manager maybe, or something like that. And was it PM? Well, something like this. At least it wasn't Xcode, it was something else. And so this name would theoretically have been still free. And in the meantime, I would also like something like Recode with my name or something. But unfortunately, that is obviously taken by another digital news magazine thing, where I still wonder that the name fits to them very well or not. My opinion, maybe not the best, but unfortunately now it's taken. That's the pity with choosing names, and then a decade ago you're not the most satisfied. But again, names are flexible. There's another Exact company, there is another Sun Electronics company, and you can, even if you want to be evil, open there some bullshit on some fake letterbox company on some island. That's it for that. And as usual, I'm interested to hear what you think. Hope you learned something. And aside from this, I hope to see you soon for the next live streams and videos to come. And we have an amazing 3,397 dropped frames, 11%, because cable internet sucks.